Hey whores, I've got something to share. I love magic wands and I love anal toys, so I've partnered with LaWand and B-Vibe to get you the best discounts on their entire site. From now until June 30, get 20% off the entire store by using code SEXEDWITHTIM at checkout. Get yourself a rumbly magic wand or even a rimming plug and get you coming, baby. That's LaWand and B-Vibe and use code SEXEDWITHTIM for 20% off both stores. Check the description for more details and I'll see you at your next orgasm. Mwah! The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I am your host, Tim, certified sex educator. I identify as a chaotic homosexual, and if Tony Stark had a drag name, it would be Female. Get it? Female. F-E Iron Man. Okay, I guess that's all right. Whatever. It's a thinker. So stupid. So folks, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. It is a favorite of mine because I am interviewing none other than the legendary, the iconic Miss Jiggly Caliente. And what you're about to hear is going to be our phone conversation. And she's so sweet to pick up the phone and talk to me for a little bit while she was doing laundry, of all things. So I hope you enjoy. We just talk about her experience with being a trans woman, being a Roo girl, being an immigrant, being a Filipina. And this is a little bit of a bilingual episode, so if you can't really piece together what we're saying because we're speaking Tagalog, well, sucks to be you, I guess. But it's okay. You'll understand most of it. So hope you enjoy. I really had fun talking to Jiggly and all of the wisdom that she had to put down. And it was just such an absolute pleasure to speak to an iconic queen such as Jiggly. So enjoy. I'll see you at the end of the episode. Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so very honored that you're here, especially the fact that you're doing laundry. But I just want to chat with you about like how drag has shaped your identity as a queer person. So first, can we ask about like where you grew up? Because everybody knows that you wear your culture, like myself, proud Pinay. You wear your culture on your sleeve and with so much pride. So what was your upbringing like?
So I was born in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and when I turned 10, my mom basically uprooted my brother and I to move to New York.
Okay.
And we've lived, and I was raised in New York since I was like 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, 30 years in New York City, 10 years in the Philippines.
Wow. Where in the Philippines exactly were you?
Okay, so when I was born, we still lived in Caloocan.
Okay, represent.
My mom and my dad had a place in Caloocan, and then when my brother was born, we moved to Laguna, and then we lived there for like 8 years, and then my mom, after she divorced my dad, she took my brother and moved to New York.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, sorry, just like feel free to speak as much Tagalog or as little Tagalog as you want because this is all about our pride, diba? So like, kamusta yung
My Tagalog is very limited right now because It's weird. Like, marunong ako mag-Tagalog, but because I don't have anyone to talk Tagalog, like speak Tagalog to, it's like I don't get to practice it. So I'm just kind of like, so basically I sound like a whitewashed Filipino.
Oh
And
my
I don't
God.
really like doing that, so I'd rather
Keep
like
it.
if it comes naturally, cool. But if not, I don't want to sound. I don't ever want to sound fake or like trying too hard. So whatever I naturally will respond to is how I'll respond.
No, pero like you're so authentic, diba? Like I remember watching you on your season 4. I still remember that cherry dress with like the Amy Winehouse beehive. I'm like, oh my god, I love her. I love seeing like another Philippine. Don't tell Manila or Angina or Vivian Pinay, but you're like my favorite Pinay queen. My god. Like honestly, I'm like still shaking at the fact that I'm still talking to you.
I think the reason why people gravitate towards me a lot more than Manila and Angina and the other Filipino queens is
Mhm.
because I'm a little bit more pangmasa than I am like
Pangmasa yon.
I'm not. Yeah, because I'm not like Manila and them. Like they're very glamorous. They're very like, but they're kind of like Phil Am girls,
Oh,
and
oh,
I
oo.
am the girl that's literally from the country. So like people respond to me a little bit differently than they do with Manila and Angina and Jeremy and Vivian and Rock. Like, I mean, there's a new girl now in the Canadian franchise. She sounds real Filipino. And then, Kine is also from, like we're talking about all the girls from the franchises now because
Siyempre.
Kine from Canada, also very Americanized or Westernized. I think the only ones that are pretty much that sound real Filipino is like Siguro Ako, si Stephanie, Mocha Diva, and Jaja from the Thailand franchise.
Speaking of mga yung franchise, yung bagong franchise, RuPaul Drag Race Philippines. Exciting, 'di ba?
It was super exciting.
'Di ba?
It's nakaka-proud kasi, like for the Philippines to not have just one, but two drag competitions that are going to play on television,
Oo nga. Oh
that's
yeah.
huge. You know what I mean? Drag in the Philippines is super different. It's like ang talento ng Filipina queens is super different. Like me, Manila, like if we even tried to like we would lose again because like drag culture in the Philippines is so different.
How
And then
so?
it also depends on where you work in the Philippines where it's like, these girls are trained. Like
Mm.
they take classes, they take workshops to be better queens. You know what I mean? Like in Oba, I know the girls take ballet classes, they take enunciation classes, just so when they're lip syncing, their mouths move correctly to the words that they're lip syncing to.
Oh
And
shit.
then, and the dance like they take dance lessons and everything. So it's crazy how the culture there is different. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like if me and Manila would try to like come on, like our snatch game would suck. Because one, we do like American folks, and then like the Filipino queens are gonna do like Rufa Gutierrez or Rufa May Quinto and
O
like
baka
Chris
may
Aquino
Vice Ganda or
or
whatever.
Ruby Velasquez or Vice Ganda. You know what I mean? Like those are like the snatch games or snatch games like Elizabeth Ramsey. There's so many girls like people could do. It's like we would suck so bad because we'd just be like, oh come on, we wouldn't even have a chance. Or a teleserie challenge, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. That's
No,
why me and Manila are better off like hosting and judging. We couldn't compete with the Filipino queens. No way.
excuse me
And then
ate, pero mang talent nyo at saka kayo at saka ni
yeah, we're
Manila.
talented. We have great clothes, but the culture is different. Like
Mm.
that's what I'm like. American drag culture is so different than it is in the UK and in all different parts of the world.
Mm.
So the Filipino queens, like I would feel so horrible for any Phil Am queens going or trying to compete in Drag Race Philippines.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get their asses handed to them. Like, I don't care how great you are of a lip sync. I don't care how great your clothes are. As soon as those challenges come, like a comedy bar challenge, like, come on. There's no way a Phil Am queen can compete with the Filipino queens. I do not see it happening. Good luck to them if they try. Because I will sit there watching a World of Wonder Plus and go, you shouldn't have done that, girl. You should have stayed your ass and tried to do the American one.
Do you think kasi yung mga Pinay medyo parang like dramatic, parang extra, mas extra sila kasi sa mga Phil-Am? O ano yung difference?
Queens are already extra. Could you imagine the queens in the Philippines? And then the queens in the Philippines, they're also trained to sing. 9 out of 10 queens can sing in the Philippines.
No way. What?
Yes.
What?
Because they're also the same girls that are doing the comedy bar stuff, and they're the ones doing karaoke, and they're singing live. Bitch, me and Manila are auto-tuned to hell and back.
What?
So, no way! I can dance. At least I can dance. I'll give myself that. At least there's one thing I can do is dance.
You can dance?
To ask me to build a fucking Regine Velasquez song? Shoot me. Fucking kill me. There's no way.
Pero ate naman, you can dance, at saka maganda yung ngipin, at saka Nax ang payat na. Excuse me.
Yeah. That is like, but we're talking about like the talent of a voice. I can, unless I turn into Ursula in the next, like in between now and that challenge, fine. Because I will go grab Adore. Who else can sing really well? Adore.
Jen?
No, I don't like her voice. Jan is too. You know what it is? It's like Jan's voice. I'm not a musical theater girl, and I feel like those kind of voices are made for theater.
Broadway.
I want a girl who has grit in her voice. I want a girl who has soul in her voice. Like, Jujubee.
Oh,
Jujubee
yeah.
has a beautiful voice. Adore has a beautiful voice. Who else has like the girls that have like soulful voices? Like, I would take their voice in a heartbeat, and then do the singing chants in Drag Race.
Sino yung mga favorite queens that you've worked with?
Obviously, my sister Manila. Me and Manila have we've been working together since before Drag Race. So,
oh yeah, ano ba yung
since
history
before
mo?
either one of us were on Drag Race. Me and Manila have been friends now for like 16 years. So yeah, Manila definitely is always gonna be one that I love to work with. Bianca, before we were on Drag Race, it was so much fun to work with too.
Mm-hmm.
But these are girls that I've known prior to Drag Race. Like, post Drag Race, Mariah is a lot of fun.
Mariah Paris Balenciaga.
Mariah is a great time. And then the reason why Mariah is also a lot of fun is because me and Mariah will talk so much shit on each other to the point that people would think that we hate each other, but we love each other to death. And it's just so much fun to banter with somebody like her. Heidi is also a lot of fun to work with. A lot of Alaska, yeah.
Alaska. Baka sabi naman niya, hi, Jiggly. Parang yung boses niya na mabagal at saka medyo deep. Nakakatawa.
I can play time.
May funny stories ka ba sa mga drag sisters mo?
I mean, Eureka and me have a good funny story, but yeah, okay. So on tour, me and Eureka, Eureka actually is a really sweetheart. Eureka took me on a date when we were in Glasgow.
Oh.
And yeah, like she took me to the movies. We went out to eat. It was really fun. Like, I had a great time with Eureka. And then later on that night, because it was our night off, and we didn't have a show that night because it was our travel day. We got to Glasgow early, and so me and Eureka were just like, we were bored, so we left the hotel, went to do stuff, whatever. But me and Eureka were both on dating apps. I was on Tinder, Eureka was on Grindr, or whatever. I don't know what she was on.
Scruff, Hinge, kahit ano, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And we were looking for, playtime. And then later on that night, we get back to the hotel, whatever. So I borrowed Eureka's, what do you call this? Like, it's the plug to kind of like, I forgot the word for it, but it's the plug so that we can use our electronics or our devices in the UK, because we have
like those adapters,
plugs.
those adapter things.
Yes, there you go, the adapter. So I borrowed Eureka's adapter, and I was charging my phone and my iPad. But in the process of me using her adapter, I ended up hooking up with somebody. Eureka needed her because her phone was dying, so she was texting me. She was like, "Hey, my phone's about to die. Can I get the adapter real quick so I can boost up my phone? Because I'm trying to get somebody here." And I go, "Okay, give me 30 minutes and then come to my room." 45 minutes has passed. Eureka comes to my room, and the guy is still in my room. So Eureka knocks on my door, and I'm like, I tell the guy to hide. He literally hides. I open the door. I hand Eureka the adapter, and Eureka looks at me. She goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm going, "Nothing." She goes, "Jiggly, you have a full beat on, but your lips are gone. What are you doing?" And you look disheveled, bitch. And I was like,
Clocked.
Nothing. Just go. You just go. Here's your shit. I thank you for lending it to me. She goes, "Jiggly, what are you up to?" So Eureka pushes the door open, and she sees the guy's foot like by my bed. And Eureka goes, "You nasty bitch." And I'm going, "You just mad that I got here before you did. Goodbye." And I closed the door on her. And so then Eureka, on our, because anytime we're on a tour, like mainly internationally, we have a WhatsApp group. So Eureka tells all the girls that I am hooking up with some guy, some cute guy. And Eureka's like, "If y'all want to see what he looks like, go to Jiggly's room." I was just like, I'm going to kill her. I was like, I told Eureka, I was like, "Girl, if a heart attack ain't gonna kill you, I will, bitch." I was like, and Eureka was like, "You gotta catch me first." I go, "Bitch, neither one of us run, you stupid bitch." So it was crazy. And then obviously the girls tried it. Manila and Sharon both tried to see what the guy looked like. It was bad.
Oh my
Thank
God.
God Cameron and Asia were very respectful and they didn't even give a shit. Sharon and Manila, they both tried, and they both came at the same time too. I was like, "Y'all are idiots." I was so sad.
Pero guapo ba yung gentleman caller mo?
He was white. It was good for what it was. He wasn't like amazingly hot, but he was cute enough.
With like a Scottish accent too, right? Top of the morning to you.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I was like, "Shut up."
Shut up.
I don't, when it comes to that, I don't want to talk. Just do what you got to do. Get it and go. I don't like conversation. It's just sex. I don't need to know your fucking history. I just need to know that you're clean, like your status is good. That's all I need to know.
You took a shower.
Yeah, I just need to know. Your hygiene has to be to par. You have to smell amazing. As long as you let me know about your status. That's all. That's all I need to know. That is the only two important things I need to know is your status and if your hygiene is up to par. The rest of that, I don't give a shit.
Right?
Like, I don't need to know your name. I don't even need to know your real name. Guys that tell me your name is fucking
Gary.
John Jingleheimer Smith. I don't give a shit. Like, I just don't care. Like, it's not that serious to me. Because 9 out of 10, I don't give them my real name either.
Diba? Like, you don't introduce yourself as Bianca, diba? Or
no. Oh, fucking no. Never do I tell a guy my real name until unless it's like legit. No.
Aw, has Ate Bianca ever fallen in love yet?
No.
Diba?
I don't. I mean, I have, but I'm not. I'm also a different kind of woman now. Like, now that I'm in my 40s, I'm very, I don't want to say heartless, but I'm just a little bit more...
You're discerning.
When it comes to the thought and the notion of falling in love, I'm kind of shut off from it.
Mm.
Not that I'm closed off, that I don't want it. I just am content at where I'm at in life, where I don't need the bullshit. And as soon as any red flags come up, I'm like, gotta go. I just.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I totally understand. Do you think yung drag nagtulong? Like, do you think that drag helped you get to that confidence from where you were then to where you are now? Because now you're living your life as like an out and proud trans Filipina. Like, can you walk us through the journey that and the role that drag has played in your queer identity?
Drag has helped with my realization and like the epiphany of, oh, I am built to be a woman. Because all my life I've always felt different. Even when I came out as gay, it just didn't sit right and it didn't feel right. So I just never thought of it, and I was like, I guess I don't know. That's what it felt like. And then as I got older and as I started really doing drag, I love getting into it and building Jiggly. That was like it felt amazing. It felt good, but taking it off hurt.
Oh no.
Like it hurt me to the core. Like I did not like taking it off.
Mm.
And then it was a lot of that was just going on. And then the realization hit that, oh no, I'm built to be a woman because I'm supposed to be a woman. And then, I told my mom, and then my mom was like, you know what? Like, I get it, but maybe like go to a therapist so that like we can help you really like go to the path where you want to go.
Oh, okay. Natakot ako. Oh my God. Akala ko parang
It
like
wasn't
conversion.
like, oh no, my mom was like, she did that when I was 16 and it didn't work. So she was just like, okay, no. So maybe a therapist is to just put so that I could go to the right path instead of like, because when I told my mom, I was also still kind of unsure. But I told her, I think this is where I'm headed. And she's like, okay, let's do the right thing and maybe talk to a professional. And I was like, okay, that sounds about right. And then, fast forward to a year, and that's when it kind of was like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so when I had the conversation with my mom again, it was so much better. And then she was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Which is weird because like telling my mom I'm a trans woman made so much more sense in her head than me telling her I'm gay.
Mom, hindi ka na sad.
Because I guess I would be like, it's a woman with a man. It made sense to her rather than a man and a man. So I was like, I get it. My mom is very super religious. It was a easier pill to swallow, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't complaining because at least it was an easy transition as far as in like having to tell my mother.
I would rather have a straight trans daughter than a gay cis son. Oh my God.
Yes, that's what it was. Like my mom was like, I would rather a tranny than a fucking bakla. She was like, I can't. I was like, what?
Wow.
I was just like, I was like, okay. And I mean, to be honest, I feel like my mom was like that because prior, when she was pregnant with me, she went to Quiapo and had her whatever read. They told her that my mom would have 2 children, a boy and a girl, and that the girl would be the headache, but she would be the one to kind of be like my mom,
like a trailblazer.
So no, my mom. I don't know what they really told her, but like these are like the little stories I'm getting from my aunts and my mom when I like when after like when they told me. So, like, and then even when I was born, when my mom would try to get ultrasound and stuff like that, the doctor was telling my mom, like, your child is very shy. She hides every time that we try to do the ultrasound. So it's like you can barely tell what her his or her genitals are. So they assumed because I was so coy and shy when I was in my mom's stomach, they thought I was going to be a girl. So, which made sense to my mom because she went to the psychic and was like, "Oh, you're going to have a son and a daughter." So when he said, "Oh, it might be a girl," she just assumed her first one was going to be a woman, a girl. So, all my baby stuff were all pink, and then when I was born, lo and behold, they were like, "Oh shit, it's a boy."
Oh shit. Oh
They're
my
like,
god.
"Oh fuck, everything is pink." Like even like my what do you call this? Like my I guess like my first clothes into the world was like a soft pink and a yellow.
Ay, ang cute.
And then my mom was just like, "No, we have to give like." So they just gave me the whatever the hospital ones is, so it was white. Because I mean, they didn't know what the fuck was
Oh my
happening to
god.
me.
Alam mo, Ate
So
Jiggly,
this,
yan din nangyari sa akin when I was born. The doctors or my parents were expecting a son. Tapos they gave my mom and dad a baby inside with a pink blanket. Tapos sabi nila, akala ko we're having a son. It's like, oh no, this is your son. Naubusan lang kami ng mga blue blankets.
oh fuck.
Which is why I'm as gay as I am now.
I'm sure your parents love that story.
They were truly like, oh, okay, we're just gonna accept there's no more blue blankets. Got it. Okay, it's a good thing we prepared for both a boy and a girl because yung baby room namin, it was like filled with toys and Barbies and monster trucks. Ay nako, ang dami.
Oh, just in case. They're like, well, just whatever it is, we're ready.
We're ready.
Not
Clear.
my mom and them, they were hell bent on that it was gonna be a girl. They're like,
Oh my god, they got my yayas ready, parang lahat. Yung lolo at
that's
lola
why my
ko.
mom said, she was like, sakit ka sa ulo from the very beginning. I was like, why? She was like, she was like, do you know how expensive baby stuff is? And we had to change all that shit and sell it and give it away. I was like, oh man, sorry.
Which is so like the pillar of like a Filipina mom, 'di ba? The slightly conservative pero we'll support you. Pero ay nako, anak. Like that attitude.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that pushback. And like my mom, a lot of that was happening when when I first came out and it came out as gay. That there was a lot of pushback from my mom. And it wasn't until when I came out as trans where my mom was a lot more like accessible as far as in motherly advice and like
Oh,
when I would have boy issues, my mom was really there for me. So it was different. Like the treatment was very different. And I hate to say that because I don't want people or anyone to think that my mom wasn't happy or wasn't supportive as a mother, even if I was gay. But it was just different, and it took time. And in any relationship where there's she didn't understand, and I can't fault her for how she felt because that's
yun,
how she felt.
yeah. At saka yun yung kultura ng mga mas matandang mga Pinay, 'di ba?
Yeah, and plus, like, it could have been worse. Like, my mom never kicked me out of the house. There was never any of those threats. Oh, no, she did threaten to kick me out of the house. But it was because of my mouth, not because I was gay. Like my mom would be like, she was like, if you don't fix your tongue. And I'm like, mm-hmm.
Mhm. Well, kasi you're a New York queen. Ganyan yung mga yung attitude, yung mga ugali ng taga New York, 'di ba? You'll say whatever you
Well,
want.
no, my mom just says that I have too much attitude for my own good. And it's not necessarily because I'm a New Yorker. It's more because I just got a fucking mouth on me. I have a mouth on me, and I'm a New Yorker, and I'm Filipino. Those are like the fucking trifecta of like
Of chismes.
attitude. Like I'm a bitch. So it was just hard. Like I worked a lot harder to be nice to people rather than like being a bitch is so natural to me, but being nice takes so much effort.
Diba? Oh my God. I hate
So,
nice
you know,
people.
I was
Ugh.
like, I always tell people, I'm like, look, don't fuck with me because, like, for me, my Shiro is fucking Lorena Bobbitt. Play with me. And that's probably also another reason why I'm single.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes.
Hello, all my little sluts. It's me, Mama Slut. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. I just wanted to hop on here real quick to let you in on a sexy little deal. Do you like feeling sexy and looking sexy? Of course you do. Only my listeners are sexy as fuck. I have partnered with fetish wear designer Dale Kuda to bring you the hottest deals on custom jock straps, harnesses, hats, and more. Head over to dalekuda.com, that's DALEKUDA.com, and use code SEXEDWITHTIM at checkout for 25% off the entire store. Yeah, you heard me, 25% off. And cherry on top, free shipping. Oh my god. I have a few of the stuff that he has made for me, and girl, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing like a little jock strap so that I could easily just like slip a little butt plug or dildo every now and then here and there. And I'm on the train. I'm just like, thank you, Dale. That's dalekuda.com with the code SEXEDWITHTIM for 25% off your entire purchase with free shipping. With a deal like that, I swear I could come buckets, honey. Hey, you disgusting pervs. We all like sex toys, right? Nipple clamps, vibrators, masturbators, oh my. Good for Her has one of the best selection of sex toys, learning resources, online workshops, and gender expression materials you can't find anywhere else. Go to goodforher.com and use code SEXEDWITHTIM10 for 10% off your purchase of any of the toys bought online. That's goodforher.com and the code SEXEDWITHTIM10 at checkout for 10% off your purchase of any of the toys bought online. And they ship worldwide. Trans-inclusive, feminist, and pleasure-focused, Good for Her has been doing the Lord's work since 1997, bringing you everything you need to get that
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
Ate Jiggly is single? Excuse me. I bet you have all the men lining up for you. Sige na. Come on.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Men are attracted to me. I just don't feel the need to be tied down to anyone.
Preach.
Mainly because if a guy can't be understanding of my life and how it works, I can't deal with that. And I refuse to dim my light for a man. That's just not happening.
Preach.
I'm a successful woman. I make good money for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna dim that for a guy who doesn't understand that I'm a woman that can make things for myself.
Exactly. It's giving me Destiny's Child, independent woman. Hello.
Very that. So that's why I can't deal with a guy who's insecure and not know to be with a woman like me. It's like, if you're not gonna be able to ride the ride, get the fuck off.
Yes, bitch. What does it take for what
you know what I mean? Like, if you can't handle the ride, get the fuck off. Because I'm not like, doing like toning the ride down for you. The
Correct.
ride is what it is.
Correct.
If you can't do a thrill ride, get off. Go to fucking
go to a merry-go-round. What does it take to date Ate Jiggly?
A lot. I expect a lot because I give a lot. So if you're not going to be supportive, definitely get out. If you don't have good credit, get the fuck out. If you can't afford, also if you can't, I'm also not that kind of like I'm very simple also, but if you can't even take me on a proper date, and if you don't know what a proper date is like, I'm just like get out. Like
Thank you.
I just can't, and I hate that I have to teach men how to date a trans woman. You're dating a woman,
Yeah.
so do as you normally would treat a woman. But if it's gonna be like some down low kind of bullshit, get the fuck out of here. I'm too fucking pretty for that.
Have you found that your experience in dating as a cis gay man and a trans woman are different?
Very different. I feel when I was dating as a gay man, I was tokenized.
Oh my god.
Well, actually, even as a trans woman, I'm also tokenized because it's like they're dating the fantasy, not the person.
Because they date Jiggly, not Bianca.
No, they're dating. Jiggly is not in this fucking room
Oh,
at this
okay.
point.
Okay.
When they date trans women, because trans women are super sexualized with porn, and I get it, but it's like they want. I hate to say it. They want that tranny porn girl.
Oh my god. It's a fetish.
They don't want. Yeah, they're fetishizing me, which also was the same. And dating as a gay boy because I'm Asian, so they're like thinking
Bottom,
feminine. I mean, granted, I was also all that, but it just was like you were just placed in this box, and that's what it is.
Mm.
And it was weird. And then on top of that, I was chubby, so it was like it's just the treatment was just different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like very tokenized, tokenized and sexualized. And I was just like, ugh, headache.
Tama na. Oh my God. Kasi ate ako din, like dating as a gay Asian Filipino, marami akong experience na parang I'm fetishized for my Asianness, diba? Parang,
Exactly.
parang like, can you just respect me and date me and fuck me for not my skin color, but like
Because you
just
think
because
I'm cute, not because you know what I mean? Like, actually, I hate to say this, but as a sex worker, it did me well being those stereotypes.
Get that money though.
Because I was like, how many fetishes am I hitting? Asian, trans, plus size.
Live the fantasy.
That's a fucking fantasy. Like, that's how many? Like, that's 3 fantasies. I used to joke around and tell my friend, I was like, bitch, that's triple threat.
Yeah.
That's a triple threat fantasy. Like, bitch, I could make money. And then on top of that, I was one of those girls where, I don't know, I guess passability is also a big deal when it comes to being a sex worker, or just for, not that it should be a big deal, but it is a big deal for a lot of trans women because they want to be able to live as a woman without being clocked or, figured out. And it shouldn't be the case, but this is the society we live in. The beauty standard is just insane. So and if you're a trans woman, it's even more hard. It's even more difficult because you're trying to live up to a different kind of beauty standard.
Right.
You have to be the ultimate. The feeling of having to be the realest looking girl in the planet and the most beautiful woman in the world. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot to take on. And, that's why I always tell people, I'm like, life as a trans person is so much more difficult than a regular person because we're made to feel that we have to overcompensate not for just one gender, but for the gender we're supposed to be in, that we're trying to live our truth in.
Shit.
So it's like we have to surpass. The first thing is we have to surpass the fact that we were born in the wrong body. That's the first one. That's a hurdle in itself. Then, after you do all that and do all that work to to live in your truth, then all the other bullshit that comes with being a woman, you're taking on. It's hard. It's like, that's why like some anytime like these like turf people that are like, oh well, being trans is not, you're not a real woman and
Ugh.
all that. I'm like, or like and I'm just like, why would a man that has being born male gives you some kind of privilege and power? Why would we want to give that up just so we can live in our truth?
Right? It's
Do
like,
you not
why
understand
did
how
do
difficult
you think I
that is? A
chose to be
difficult.
like this? Do you think I
Yeah,
chose
it's
to
not. This
be
isn't a
marginalized?
choice.
Mm,
The only choice we're making is choosing to live in our truth. But being who we are wasn't a choice.
no.
This was bestowed upon us, not this isn't a choice I personally would have rather made. I would have rather been born a cis white male, heterosexual male,
Mm,
because they have power and privilege. Just real talk. As much as I want to be pro Asian, and look, we don't have that kind of power
no.
unless we live in Asia. But like in the US, when people talk about the American dream, unless you're a cis white hetero male,
Mm-hmm.
that's who the American dream is made for, not for anyone else.
Yeah. Not for trans people, not for people of color, not for black people. Just like,
Yeah, no, not for anybody of color or no.
yeah.
If you have a little bit of melanin, good luck. No, that wasn't for you.
Yeah. Like, I was surprised that even the way, like, as little melanin as, say, like Meghan Markle and the way she was treated there, it's like, even if she was a hint darker, just imagine the treatment. Ugh.
That's just how I mean, the world is unfair, and I hate that that's how it is, but that's the way it is.
Mm.
So anybody who is melanated, gay, I mean queer, and like, if you're a person of color and queer, you work a million times harder than everybody else in the world.
Preach.
To be seen, to be heard. Yeah, no, that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to want to be heard, and you want to be able to be. Yeah, you just have to work at it.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I think,
Stop.
ate, like, I think it's because of our struggle as queer people, as Asians, that I think it's because of the fight that makes us so fucking fabulous, right? We're so resilient
Yeah.
than your average, everyday
You have
vanilla.
to be. If you're a person of color, you have to be resilient.
Mm.
It is not it's not even a fucking question. Like, you have to be that person. Being resilient, being like, you have to. You have to. That is not a question. Mainly if you're trying to live in another, like, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
just have to. Even in the Philippines, you have to be resilient, because if you like the upward mobility in the Philippines and in countries like the Philippines, like the third world countries, it's hard because they keep the poor poor, striving to be above and living above that. It's hard because you have to work a million times harder. You just have to. And I think that's one thing a lot of people don't realize is when you're coming from a different country and you're an immigrant, you have to work hard because you're working hard to send money to your family. If you're doing that, or because the struggle, you just work 10 times harder.
Mm-hmm.
That you won't live in that life again, because you want to be better.
Yeah, we have so many balikbayan boxes here just ready to ship out because we want my family back home to have the life that we have here. Like, it's not fame and fortune and glamour, pero mas maganda in comparison.
Yeah, and real talk. Like, do you like? It's so simple. I don't know what it is about it, but like corned beef, that's yung disuse. For some reason, when that $5 little piece of shit can gets over to the Philippines, and when people see that in your house, it is some kind of like status symbol. Or if you have Nike from the US, or like these simple brands like Old Navy or whatever, if it makes it to the Philippines for some odd reason and people see that, or you get a balikbayan box, it is a status symbol in the Philippines.
It hits different.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, I didn't realize it when I was a kid, but as an adult, and to see it through my lens as an adult, it's kind of heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I see the struggle and the point of how my family just wanted to live better. And even those little simple things like that is like, usually my aunts, they give it to the maid. And when the maid goes home for the holidays, she has like, on top of her, like, her pay and her bonus and all that, it just to give to her family. Like, it was weird. Like, I mean, these are like, even our old toys that we don't use anymore, when we send it back home, to find out that it was going to the maid's kids, it was like, oh wow, that is what my mom and my aunts meant when there are people who would do anything for what the fuck you have here. So don't take it for granted.
Preach.
It just like, but it did, like I said, like, I didn't realize it as a child, but as an adult is when I was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so eye-opening. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's why it's like, when I go home, when the last couple times, like the last 2 times I went home to the Philippines, I just gave my costumes away.
Aww.
To queens in the Philippines that I worked with, because I was just like, I can get this again. It's like, it's not hard to get these costumes. But like, even in the Philippines, like the fabrics are different. It was like, they were just like, it's weird because like my costumes for tour, I don't use the high grade Swarovskis on them, because it's like the wear and tear, and I wash it or all that stuff. I use like the lesser grade, the Preciosa stones. But they shine so differently, I guess, in like, rather than the stones that they use in the Philippines.
Right.
So I was just like, okay. So when the girls were like, we're so enamored by it, I was just like, girl, like, whatever. These are cheap ass stones. To me, it's cheap ass stones, but to them, it's different. And that's when I was just like, oh, it makes so much, like, it just makes sense. And there are some queens who can't afford like the really amazing stuff and I'm just like, okay, the girls that come from money in the Philippines, so I mean, those girls are lucky. But then the girls who aren't from that world, I see the difference, and they made me realize how blessed I am again as a queen coming from here.
Right, in North America compared to a Filipina drag queen. Kasi I'm expecting na yung mga queens sa Drag Race Philippines o yung show ni Manila, baka yung costumes nila baka ibang standard, or pero yung talent nila mas refined.
The thing is just like, I can, when it comes to filming is different. There are certain fabrics, and I mean certain fabrics that are cheap as shit, but on camera they look fucking amazing. And then there's also some fabrics that are super expensive, and when it gets to the camera, it gets washed out because it doesn't, like, the camera doesn't give it justice when you see it in real life. And I had to learn that the hard way, both on regular Drag Race and then when I did All Stars, because I was just like, what? Like when my entrance look.
Maganda.
When I walked into All Stars.
Sandali lang, ate, real quick, ang ganda ng entrance look mo nung mahabang blonde hair, yung zipper. Oh my God.
see, okay, I guess you have an HD television because the girl, like when people first saw, I guess the leaked photos came out, and they weren't like high grade photos. So my dress looked so simple, but people didn't like when I do like me. I've done meet and greets in it, and people are like when they see it in person, they're like, "Oh wow, this fat like it looks good." The dress looks like leather, but it isn't. But it also looks. There's also like beaded trim on it. So there's so much detail on that dress that unless you see it in person, it doesn't give it justice. On camera, unless like you have like HD television, that's when you can see it better. But it was one of those dresses that I was like, damn, I should have done the video test on it like I did with other fabric, with my other outfits for All Stars. The only one I didn't do the video what do you call this? Video test was my entrance look.
Pero
Everything else got a video test because I needed to see it on camera.
Pero ate, whatever you wear naman maganda. Sa totoo lang. Like, you know how to style. You know how your figure looks. You know your
I can
silhouette.
style myself, but I cannot sew for shit. It's just not made for me. Like even Manila was so upset with me. She was like, "Bitch, learn how to sew." I was like, I'll be fine. I'm like, sewing is not until the end of the season. It's okay. And by then, if I get sent home for sewing, I have at least won some challenges. Manila goes, Jiggly, you never know, bitch. And I was like, I'll be fine.
Hot glue gun.
Manila. And then the second episode is sewing. I was like, fuck.
Tangina.
And then as soon as I came home, Manila goes, I told you. I was like, shut up.
Oh my god. Hot glue gun, hot glue gun.
I told you to just learn how to simple stitch or something, bitch. And I was like, I can't. I don't have the patience.
Oh my god. Pero you know what, ate, it sounds like your experience in Drag Race, your experience with just drag overall has really like given you such an amazing platform in not only Filipina visibility, not only in trans visibility, but like in just helping make drag into the mainstream. I mean, with RuPaul, whatever, yeah. Pero I think you talaga, in my humble opinion, you are the trailblazer of all things drag, and I cannot appreciate you enough for coming on my humble little show and just like being your most authentic self. And it's just so refreshing. It's so like, my God, malapit na ako umiyak. Uh, like, how do you think drag and trans visibility and queer representation will change over time, especially with your influence?
No, I don't think it's with my influence, to be honest. Thank you for like the compliment. But to me, I am a woman that I'm only doing what I'm doing because I love being a performer. I love being on stage. Don't get me wrong. I know the responsibility I hold and the power that my visibility and my representation have. I don't take it for granted. I don't take advantage of it. I want to empower it more, but I'm also, I feel like I am too flawed of an individual to be that representation and to be that beacon for the community. I just want people to possibly learn from my mistakes and learn and see that if a simple girl like me can make it with hard work and determination, a wish can happen.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I don't want people to think that this life isn't also easy. Like when people see the rude girls, whatever. Yes, there are certain things that come with it that are great advantages, but it comes with a price. You know, people never realize that everything in life comes with a price.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are willing to pay, and there's some people who just aren't willing to pay for it.
Right. With great power comes great responsibility.
it comes at a price. And and like this year, I'm going to be working on a project. I'm not going to be able to see my family for the holidays.
Oh shit.
Like I will not, I'm going to not be able to see my brother for his birthday, my birthday, and Christmas. That sucks. I'm not going to be able to go see my family for Christmas because of the project that I'm about to embark on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's a choice that I've made, and it could lead to something even more. So I have to take it. I just have to disappoint some people sometimes.
Yeah.
And usually when it comes to this business, the people you disappoint the most are your loved ones.
Oh God.
Because you barely have time for them. And that's another reason why I'm also single, is because how with what time will I have for somebody else when I want to spend that, when I could be spending that time with my family? I would rather hang out with my brother than hang out with some guy.
Aww.
Don't get me wrong. My brother's a little dick too, but he is like this perfect example. Like this morning, woke up early just so I could walk into my brother's room and annoy him for like 20 minutes because of Squid Game.
No spoilers. Hindi pa ako nakakanood ng Squid Game. Oh my God.
But I know, okay, so good. But just because my brother's name is Gihan and a character's name is Gihan, I was making fun of my brother. I was like, so what you gonna do with that money? And my brother's like, shut the fuck up! That's not the name! And my brother, and he's like, get the fuck out of my room! And I was just like, but simple things like that, I would rather do that than spend some time with some dude that I barely know.
Yeah. Taking those small little joys and really cherishing them.
And then because also I'm also about to move to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother lives in New York. Like we live here in New York. So I'm going to move to LA. My brother's not moving with me. So these are little things where I cherish my family so much more than anything in life. Like I would rather hang out at home, watch TV with my brother, rather than go to the club.
Same, sis. Same.
I was trying to get my brother to go watch Shang-Chi, and then my brother's like, don't you gotta do laundry? And I was like, oh, never mind.
Oh my God, ate. You know Simu Liu, the guy who plays Shang-Chi? I met him because he's from here. Oh my God, his abs.
So you're in Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God, he's so fucking sexy. I cannot. Simu Liu, if you ever hear this, I want to touch your stomach again. Thank you.
Oh my God.
He's so hot. I'll introduce you sometime because we're pretty close now. But anyways, Ate Jiggly, maraming salamat. I've taken up enough of your time, pero I was wondering lang kung meron kang mga final words sa mga nakikinig dito. Like, whether it be about your identity, authenticity, the trans experience, any parting words of wisdom for our audience?
So my only advice is to stay resilient, always fight for what you believe in, and your happiness, as long as it doesn't affect anyone in a negative, anyone else, it's not hurting anyone, live it, because it is your life. That's all I can say. And a lot of hard work can help a dream become a reality.
Yes. Oh my God. I could not have said it any better myself. Thank you so much, Ate Jiggly, for taking the time out of your day to speak to another fellow Pinay na bakla. Diba? And one day I hope I get to share a drink with you and just talk and kiki and
Where
chismes.
in Canada are you?
Toronto po.
Ah, okay. We have family in Toronto. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to be at Saskatoon. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Sige, mag-connect
all I know
tayo.
is I'm performing at Saskatoon on October 22nd.
Sige,
October 22nd. I'm performing at Saskatoon. Canada. I don't know where that is. I
Not
just know that it's in Canada.
yeah, not anywhere close to where I am.
Okay, well, sorry. But yeah, like, I mean, yeah, hopefully there'll be more to come. But yeah, maybe 2022, the world opens up more.
And then we'll see.
Definitely.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ate. I hope you have a good night.
You're welcome.
Take
You
care.
too.
Ingat.
Bye.
Oh my god, wasn't she such a fucking treat? I love her. I love just drag queens in general. You're all so fucking amazing and talented and beautiful. And if you like what you heard, please like support the show. Rate, review, subscribe. It really does help the show get the listeners up. And you know, I got a Patreon that has more bonus content. It's got fun little things, little treats for all of you baby sluts out there. And yeah, I just hope that you enjoyed what you've heard and you enjoy the content that I put out there for you. So with that, I'll see you at the next episode. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Even better, you can also support the show on Patreon, where you can get early access to ad-free episodes and more. Thanks for all your support, you dirty little slut. Mwah.